everybody to a first look at Wayward Souls. This is a 16-bit style action roguelike, and the developers are kind enough to give me a press key to check out here on the channel. But the game itself is currently going to be on early access, probably very soon by the time you're watching this video, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. As you're watching the footage right now, the game is played with some very impressive pixel-style graphics. Your mission is to basically go after an evil tower full of monsters and a grand mystery. The twist of Wayward Souls is that you play as different characters, with each character having different abilities and their own personal story. So this is footage of me, I believe, playing as the thief, who has her own abilities. She's going to try and do like a charge here, as well as some other special items you can see in the upper right hand corner of the screen. The levels themselves are loosely randomly generated. The rooms are kind of stitched together and the different enemies you'll fight are unknown. But each character has his or her own specific story, and the story is kind of shown through cutscenes and other areas when you come to like bosses or major characters. And those elements are fixed. You're not going to see one character story kind of mess with somebody else's. Each character in the game has their own specific skill tree, as you can see here, and this is kind of where the persistent element comes into play, as the gold you collect is then shared between everybody, and you spend it on these various skills, and then there's a second tier that gets unlocked once you've spent enough. And again, each character has their own specific storyline, as well as their weapons and such. So I've played mainly as the thief and an unlockable character called the adventurer at the time of this recording here. But as you can see, I'm trying to mess around with the controls, as well as figure out who I wanted to play as. Personally, I found the thief to be the easiest one so far, and then once you've chosen it, you'll then go on your specific quests. Besides the characters themselves upgrading, you sometimes find items like these pets and various pieces of gear that I'm not sure what the gear is used for, like hats or shoes and stuff like that. But here's a quick scene of kind of a specific storyline that is unique towards the thief, and how she's kind of chasing after this guy. And after every floor in a dungeon, you get kind of a quick vignette cutscene of what that person's doing in the dungeon. It's kind of a nice touch and gives a little bit more personality, as all the playable characters are hard-coded. There are no characters that you're going to personally create, at least in this version. I don't know if they have any plans for that in the future. One other thing to keep in mind, as you're about to see here, is that your health only recovers when you go from floor to floor. I have not found any health potions. Maybe there's a character who gets health back anyway, but you're going to have to make use of the floor changes in order to keep going. And that can be very painful if you arrive at a boss unprepared. Now, from what I've seen so far, the various boss fights are hard-coded. This is the same one I fought with the thief as I fought with the adventurer, but because your different abilities, or each class has a different abilities and moves, this does change things around. I just used one of her poison powers there. Now, if you saw her dash, I made heavy use of during this fight, and because she has a dagger, that offers a backstab bonus, as you can see by a lovely indicator. There are cases or areas in the game where you can upgrade a piece of gear into one of two specific perks, and I found that to be very useful, but it does limit what you can do. There's not a lot, from what I've seen so far, of advanced maneuvers or tactics in Wayward Souls. Again, each character is hard-coded, so there's not much you can do like in terms of giving like the thief spells or the paladin something else. But this boss fight was pretty easy, as you can see there. And I'm going to go up here, and I'm about to get some of the gear that I was just talking about. Right there. I have no idea what that's used for. But this ends again with a similar cutscene, and then each character kind of interjects their own personality into it. So from what I've seen of Wayward Souls, I'm enjoying the game. This is footage of me playing as the adventurer. And you can see I just picked up a pet familiar, and here's a case of the 2 perks right here. Again, it is completely up to, I believe, random or RNG as to when they show up in a level or what gear they're going to modify. But so far in the game, there are 3 dungeons, I believe, a bronze, silver, and gold. The one that you've seen so far is basically 5 floors. And I think my main criticism of the game right now is that the basic gameplay does feel a little too simplistic. It can be a little tricky sometimes to aim your charge move, and I also found it kind of was difficult to get in on enemies in a few cases. Some attacks, like his basic sword here, does stun the enemy, while his special that you'll see with the lantern or his spell sometimes doesn't work out as planned. So there's me doing a charge attack. Now, from what I've seen so far, and from the early access page on Steam, a lot of this game is already done. And it seems like they came onto early access with the majority of the title finished. I believe they only have, or I think they're aiming for either a few months to a year in early access. But from what I've seen so far, the vast majority of the game is finished. I'm going to actually look that up very quickly while you guys enjoy my character doing some dungeon crawling right here. And while the page is loading up, so far I've played as 2 of the characters, the thief and the adventurer. I've only touched the warrior just very slightly, but that was about it. So according to their early access page, they're aiming for 3 to 7 months, with of course adding in endless mode, balancing, and all those other good things that you'll see with this game going through that iteration. But I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm kind of curious to see what people think about it, as the 16-bit style graphics really do play those nostalgia strings. But I think with that, we're going to wrap up the video here. So be sure to check it out on Steam. I would like to thank the developers again for giving me a press key. If you want me to take over your game in the future, please don't hesitate to get in touch. But check back for daily discussions on game design here, and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. Until next time, have a great night. Before we get to the credits, just a quick shout out to the supporters over on patreon.com/gwbicer. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to check back for our regular streaming, most nights at 9:30, 10 EST, and you'll find a schedule linked down below. For a collection of my writings as well as audio casts on design, you'll find that at game-wisdom.com. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at gwbicer. If you're interested in hanging out and talking about game design topics, we have a Discord channel with the basic tier open to everybody, and that is linked down below as well. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, it is at patreon.com/gwbicer. Your support can help to keep things going and growing, and you can earn rewards such as ad-free versions of our talks, votings for our specific Let's Plays and grab bag streams, and more. But that's it for now. Thanks again for watching. I hope you come back for more great discussions on design here and on GameWisdom.com, where we examine the art and science of games.